for this wonderful podcast on the Women's Day. So, as I remember my childhood memories, what I learned from my parents during morning prayer, whenever I am doing Hanuman Chalisa and part, and I always used to chant Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Vidya Rupena Sansita Namastasai 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 Namo Namah Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Sansita Namastasai 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 Namo Namah, and our day begins with this. So I am here with the wonderful and amazing entrepreneurs, group of entrepreneurs, the Women's, on the Women's Day. 8th March is considered to be an International Women's Day. In India, we consider every day is a Women's Day, right? So I would like to introduce here four lovely, amazing entrepreneur women. And you will be going to experience now the amazing thoughts and the things here in this Let's Talk series. I am now taking opportunity to introduce Sweety Rath. She is head of HR for one multinational organization. She is working in Bangalore, and with so much of experience in HR, and she brings always a lot of energy and the inspiration for all of us. Thank you so much, Sweety, for joining. We have Reina Khatri Tandon, Dr. Reina Khatri Tandon. She's double PhD. Should I speak double doctor? Reina Khatri Tandon. Very inspiring and very energetic, wherever you see, and she is heading the organization, especially the Right to Rise, right? She is owned the organization, the founder of this organization. She did do a lot of initiative in terms of POSH, any, the thing, especially for the woman empowerment. And we also have, we have Manjari Upadhyay. She is a president of Jiji Visha Society. She is doing an amazing work, especially in Lucknow. तो जितने भी यूपी के जो लोग हैं, खासकर लखनऊ के आसपास के हैं, तो वो अक्सर उनको आप they must be knowing Manjari very well, and she is doing amazing work in terms of women empowerment, and especially for the conservation of the nature also. And last but not least, we have Lal Sawant, and she is an image consultant. So we are privileged to have one image consultant also with us, and she will be going to help us, especially for the women, what exactly they need to do to, especially build their image in the corporate world and anywhere. So I'll begin with the questions. The first question, kindly share something about yourself. How would you like to express, the people to know you? So we'll begin with the same. Sweetie, over to you.
Thank you. Lovely, bright Sunday morning. I am super charged. I'll try and speak in Hindi and English because I love both the two languages. My name is Sweety Rath, and I represent myself beyond just my name. It's like, you like me, you hate me, but you cannot really ignore me. From my education and background, I started in a technical stream of line and then moved into doing business administration. So somewhere I feel analytics and people are two super objective and subjective things, and when you amalgamate both of them, खिचड़ी नहीं बनती है, एक बहुत ही fusion recipe बनती है that just helps all of us to put ourselves ahead of how we learn and understand. When I introduce myself, I always tell this, that the thing that I'm very proud of is the two exhibitions that I held when I was only 19 years of age, of doing fabric painting and selling saris and dupattas and all of that at a cost of 400 rupees. I think that was my first touch and go as an entrepreneur, something that I created of my own, जो आजकल boutique और brand कहा जाता है. And that just gave me a feeling that, as a woman, as an individual, I cannot be limited by others' imagination. I would be basically flying with what abilities and energy I have. I'm a dancer. I practice Odissi. I did that for 14 years, and I think my claim to fame has been performing in front of the late President Shankar Dayal Sharma back there in Shri Fort Auditorium. I'm a mother of a 10-year-old child, And why this cause of being raising a voice for empowerment is very close to me is I myself have gone through um, a physical violence and domestic violence in my first marriage, which was based on substance abuse by my then husband. That led to, of course, me getting separated from him. But that just, I was all of 22 years of age when my parents, coming from a Brahmin household, decided कि बच्ची का तो arrange marriage करना ही चाहिए, क्योंकि when we were talking with Manjari ji, I realized when she was mentioning about UP household, I come from a similar kind of a household. Today, when I look back, I have traveled close to 27 countries. I work for a private equity firm called Bain Capital. I head their portfolios. Maybe I put on a makeup, I color my hair, I wear my lipstick and mascara, but back then I'm still a absolute 22-year-old girl who still blushes when somebody says that आप बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हो. And I am super proud of my journey, and I hope that people inspire and we'll get to know more from each other. Thank you.
Wonderful, what an introduction, sweetie. It's really very inspiring. Thank you so much. Rena, over to you.
Thank you very much, Pankaj. I think Sweetie has set the context. I would say always be the first version of yourself instead of being a second-rated version of somebody else. And a strong woman is only that person who actually stands up, raising the voice and for herself. And nobody can make her feel inferior if she doesn't give the permission. So I think we've already seen that through Sweetie. What interesting makes me a little different over her is that every woman has so many shades. And what I could see in my journey is that when everything has been given and your father gets up and asks you when about you're at 10th and 12th, what do you really want to do? You want to make a unique journey of your own. In every step of my life, I think I just took one aspect is that you need to grow, need to learn, and you always need to make a difference in somebody's life. So my first journey started with not being a business person, but going out and exploring into the corporate world, trying to create an identity of my own, rather than having an identity that we as Indians have connected to our patriarchy, where we say, hey, we emerge from our father or from our grandfather or from our in-laws or from even our husbands. Apart from being so-and-so, Mrs. Tandon, I also got an identity of having been Miss Rena. So even today, when people address me as Dr. Rena, I say, let's not get judgmental with the 2 PhDs I carry, but just see the individuality of the person who's behind that. Right? Yes, I have very many USPs of being a North Indian born and brought up in South India. I speak 12 languages. I also have 2 PhDs and my second PhD been done at 40 plus 41. And I also explored with different people, understanding how people, mentalities, their mindsets, and exploring beyond, showing them what they're capable of. So yes, that I think you would be knowing soon about our ventures, Right to Rise, RKT Foundation, Empowering Lives, and many more. But for now, it's all about Rena and being here, sharing value on this platform. Thank you.
Amazing, Rena. So much, learning in this podcast. I personally believe that I am more, I'm more of, what is, the contribution of my mother into my life.
Absolutely.
So when I wake up every day in the morning, I see she is no more now, and I see she is always there with me. So the contribution of a woman and a mother is, people are saying there's, more of patriarchy kind of thing, the parents into the father is more. I believe that the we are talking about today in the today's world called entrepreneurship, right? And I see my wife, I see my mother, I see, each and every woman working in home. So the people are coining this word, but they are the natural entrepreneurs I see in each and every home. I see whenever something happens, when I see my career, I mean, when I see the progression or something, something which is more cloudy, my wife comes and clears the cloud in my mind. The way she put her hand on my shoulder, the way she travels with me in my thoughts, the way so that's what so I see so much the contribution of a mother and the woman in my life, right? Now let's learn from मंजरी. मंजरी, आप लखनऊ से आती हैं और लखनऊ की तो माय वाइफ इज फ्रॉम लखनऊ, तो लखनऊ की तो इतनी सारी प्यारी प्यारी यादें हैं, अच्छी अच्छी चीजें हैं। और लखनऊ को कोई भूल सकता है क्या दुनिया में? अगर मान लीजिए आप कहीं भी हैं, मैं आई ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू टेल इन माय वीडियोस एंड इन माय टॉक्स, अगर आप लाइफ में अगर आप लखनऊ नहीं गए ना बिफोर यू डाई, तो आपने कुछ नहीं देखा, आपको लखनऊ जाना ही चाहिए। जस्ट सी द लखनऊ, द वे दिस पीपल टॉक, द वे दे आइए बैठिए खाइए, ये सारी चीजें कहाँ देखने को मिलती हैं? सो ओवर टू यू।
So I'm very, very fortunate that Lucknow chose it's love for me to कि मैं इसको अपने कर्म क्षेत्र के तौर पे चूज कर सकूं। इनफैक्ट मेरी जो प्रोफेशनल जर्नी की शुरुआत थी वो भी लखनऊ से हुई थी। एंड चूंकि खुद के बारे में थोड़ा बताना है, सो ट्रस्ट मी, व्हेन आई चोज लखनऊ एज अ हेडक्वार्टर, आई वाज टोल्ड बाय एवरीबॉडी नोन इन माय एक्वेंट्स कि व्हाई आर यू चूजिंग लखनऊ, इट विल बी अ सिटी जहाँ पे आपके सर पे एएसएम भी होगा, आरएसएम भी होगा, जेडएसएम भी होगा, ट्रेडिंग मैनेजर्स भी आएंगे, प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स भी आएंगे, नेशनल सेल्स मैनेजर्स भी आएंगे, एंड दे विल ऑल कम फॉर जॉइंट फील्ड वर्किंग विद यू। सो आई सेड तो क्या आएंगे तो वॉट एवर आई हैव बीन वर्किंग इन डे टू डे लाइफ वो कुछ सिखा के जाएंगे। And trust me, the city had paid so much that I trusted upon the city. And as I shared, it was a journey of getting promoted within an year of joining pharmaceutical industry. And as I shared earlier in the informal conversation, that I used to be a completely aimless child, aimless student. Like that people are passionate about their careers, their goals. I had nothing as such. पर जिस दिन से लखनऊ को चूज किया, करियर को चूज किया, उसके बाद से देयर वाज नेवर लुकिंग बैक। एंड इफ आई डिफाइन माई सेल्फ एज मैजिकल मंजरी, I don't think it would be an exaggeration, because this magic has helped me understand that there are no limited beliefs. I mean, I don't have space to have limited beliefs in my life. People have their own notions, their own beliefs, their own patterns and filters. Let them utilize. I don't have criticism for anybody, but this is my life and let me choose the magic I can create. And I'm a happy go person. मतलब लोग बोलते हैं कि अगर सपने में भी याद आती हो तो तुम मुस्कुराती हुई नजर आती हो. Probably that is one of the biggest strength I have. And pharmaceutical industry ने मुझे groom किया as a professional from a middle class Brahmin family of eastern part of UP. उससे groom करने में बहुत help करी, and trust me, जब मैंने communication के ऊपर काम करना start किया था, I never ever thought कि एक ऐसा दिन भी आएगा जब जो stocks जैसा platform will choose me for being a speaker on its platform कि कम्युनिकेशन को एक पैकेज के तौर पे कैसे मैं ट्रीट कर सकती हूँ. सो या अ लॉट ऑफ थैंक्स टू द इंडस्ट्री, टू माय गुरुज, टू माय बॉसेस, एंड देन अनदर पार्ट ऑफ थैंक्स to the people who met me in the next part of my journey, जिन्होंने मुझे ये रियलाइज कराया कि as an individual, as a professional, तो I have groomed myself. Now it's turn to get back to the society, to pay back to the society, and having done law, having great teachers over there, जिन्होंने ये पर्सपेक्टिव बताया कि नॉलेज ऑफ लॉ आपको सिर्फ एक लॉयर ही नहीं बनाती है, बट इट एजुकेट्स यू एंड एम्पावर्स यू टू नो द राइट्स एज अ कॉमन सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया. And since then, I have so far, every morning till night, whenever I've been working, it's with the thought कि what better society can I be and create today through me and through my acquaintance. ये सब करते समय मेरे दिमाग में परमानेंट एक भावना रहती है, एंड दैट इज द फ्रीडम फाइटर्स, जिनकी वजह से हम आज इतने एम्पावर्ड हैं. फॉर मी 15 अगस्त और 26 जनवरी एक दिन है सिंबॉलिक तरीके से सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए, लेकिन मैं 15 अगस्त को और 26 जनवरी को हर दिन जीती हूँ इन द नेम ऑफ दोज फ्रीडम फाइटर्स, इन द नेम ऑफ द सोल्जर्स, जिनके पास भी दूसरे ऑप्शंस, करियर ऑप्शंस हो सकते थे कि वो एक लग्जूरियस लाइफ को चूज कर सकते थे. सो अगर हमें बॉर्डर पे जाके सीने पे गोली नहीं खानी है, तो हर दिन उनके सेक्रीफाइस को ट्रिब्यूट देने के लिए हम छोटे छोटे से काम कुछ तो ऐसे कर सकते हैं विच कैन हेल्प द सोसाइटी बिकम अ बेटर प्लेस, बेटर स्टेट टू लिव, एंड दैट इज द अल्टीमेट फीलिंग. उसके आगे जितनी चीजें हैं वो सब उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए. दैट्स ऑल.
वेरी गुड. व्हाट यू सेड कि हर दिन 15 अगस्त और 26 जनवरी मनाना चाहिए, ये बेसिकली दिस इज समथिंग विच इज फ्रॉम द डीपर द कोर ऑफ द हार्ट, है ना. और हम फॉर एवरीथिंग आई थिंक अब्राहम लिंकन हैज सेड दिस, डोंट लुक फॉर व्हाट योर कंट्री इज डूइंग फॉर यू, व्हाट यू आर डूइंग फॉर योर कंट्री,
ट्रू.
है ना. तो इतनी सारी चीजें देखिए पता लग रही है मेरे को. आई थिंक आई एम द वन हु इज द मोस्ट फॉर्चुनेट टू हैव दिस पॉडकास्ट. सुकरात ने बोला है ना कि वेरी फ्यू पीपल नो दैट दे नो वेरी फ्यू, है ना. तो कितनी सारी चीजें, until or otherwise you don't meet people, you don't come to know or learn about the different perspective, different views, different learning, what the amazing work people are doing.
Yeah.
So in all these aspects, the important thing is how you manage your image. So now let's we have Mansi Lal Sawant. She is an amazing image consultant, and I do not know मानसी जी आपके कारण कितने सारे लोग लाइफ में कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँचते हैं. Yeah, so over to you. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So, आप लोगों ने वो मूवी देखी है बाजीराव मस्तानी? जब बाजीराव मस्तानी इज प्री पैंडेमिक मूवी, सो उस समय ओटीटी इतना नहीं होता था और हम बहुत ज्यादा थिएटर्स में जाके मूवी देखते थे. एंड देयर इज दिस पर्टिकुलर डायलॉग बाजीराव मस्तानी में वेयर रणवीर सिंह सेज कि चीते की चाल और बाज की नजर पर संदेह नहीं करते, चीते की चाल बाज की नजर और बाजीराव की तलवार पर संदेह नहीं करते. कभी
पर कांटा छोटा हो तब भी चुभता है, काय मरता. चीते की चाल, बाज की नजर और बाजीराव की तलवार पर संदेह नहीं करते. कभी भी मात दे सकती है,
कभी भी मात दे सकती है. And when this dialogue came in the theater and people were like hooting and clapping and whistling and people said, wow, man, this is what Bajirao is. Now, the interesting thing is that none of us have met Bajirao Peshwa. And yet, when the dialogue came, we were all hooting and clapping and whistling. Why was that? That was because that is the image we carry about Bajirao Peshwa. Similarly, everybody carries an image about us. I am Mansi Lal Sawant. I am an image consultant. I'm a business image specialist and I specialize in ECG. वो दिल वाला ECG नहीं, ECG मतलब etiquette, communication and grooming. And we have Manjari here who's right from the city of Tehzeeb, which is etiquette. So etiquette is E, communication is C, and G is grooming, and I specialize in ECG. As for me, I started my career in HR. So I have a corporate run of around 9 years. Then 2 बच्चे हैं मेरे. So when my second child was born, I tried working, लेकिन हो नहीं रहा था. It was very demanding. So I took a break for 3.5 years, and when I came back as an image consultant. And तब से लेके आज from say 5th December 2013 till date, I've been doing only image consulting. It's been an amazing journey. So like I have 2 children and I have 1 husband, the man who was handling the laptop right now. And I think just the way, Sweetie mentioned, my first brush of entrepreneurship was in my 12th standard vacation when I did my, when we had the board exams and uske baad jo chuttiyan hoti thi. So I used to pick up batik pieces from Indore. So Indore mein jo Ujjain and Maheshwar and all that area hai, to wahan pe jo cotton ke batik pieces milte the, I used to get them to Mumbai and sell them here. So that was my first brush with entrepreneurship. And तब से लेके आज तक फर्स्ट जन एंटरप्रेन्योर हूँ. बहुत मार खाती हूँ, बहुत सीखती हूँ, बट लाइफ जस्ट गोज ऑन. थैंक यू सो मच सर.
कितनी सुंदरता से आपने कितनी बड़ी बड़ी बातें मतलब समझा दी इतने आसानी से, है ना. मेरे को एक और मूवी का डायलॉग अक्सर याद आता है. वो पुष्पा मूवी में जब वो पुष्पा जो वो जाता है ना पुलिस इंस्पेक्टर को बोलता है लास्ट में, ब्रांड क्या होता है, क्या होता है ब्रांड, ये अपन ने मतलब दैट्स द कन्विक्शन, है ना?
Yes,
है ना?
yes,
So
yes.
so much to learn from movies. What Mansi you said very right. कि जब बाजीराव मस्तानी की बात आती है तो ये जो डायलॉग्स होते हैं ना, ये बेसिकली कहीं ना कहीं हमारे अंदर होते हैं. So few days back I was talking to one of the guy who is a happiness coach. His name is Just Win Singh. And what he said, कि ये दुनिया बाहर नहीं होती है, दुनिया हमारे अंदर होती है. When I see a ego in someone, so that's उसके अंदर ईगो नहीं होती, हमारे अंदर की ईगो जो होती है ना, वो बेसिकली हमको इंट्रोड्यूस कराती है. When I say hate, वो बाहर हेट नहीं होती, हेट हम. So this is so much to learn from, the each and everything, so you need to find out and check where is the issue. Now coming to the next very important and the inspiring question, I think that all the audience wanted to learn from all of you, that what really inspires you to work. It requires a lot of courage, and especially for the society like India, and for a woman to come out and start something, I do not know, the first, the rejection might be, beginning from the family itself. पापा ही बोलते हैं, अरे नहीं छोड़ो, ये सब नहीं हो पाएगा. हस्बैंड ही बोलते, अरे ये क्या लगा के रखा है आपने. So my question inspires you. So we will go one by one. So we'll start from Sweetie. Sweetie, please help us in understanding what really inspires you.
Great question, Pankaj ji. Inspiration ऐसा एक दिन नहीं होता है that you just decide and you win a war and then suddenly you're put on a platform and everybody feels inspired. Inspiration is exactly like the small things in life, right? Which is even a nice cup of hot coffee, and what you require to make that inspires. I think my journey of inspiration started, I guess we all look up to our parents, and this time I would not say it is my mother, but it is also my father. My father went to an illustrious IIT and was a very high-ranking government officer for the state of Odisha in the electricity department. And I was in my grade 10th. I was very, very good in my studies, obviously, क्योंकि आपको पता होगा when you are coming from a middle class, upper middle class, Brahmin family, अगर आप engineer, doctor नहीं बन पाए, then the only option as a woman for you is to get married and आपको सिर्फ रोटी ही बनानी है. That is how the society looked at. And I'm not telling it in a derogatory way. I'm basically telling it that there are roles defined in the society and there are stereotypes. 10th के एग्जाम के 2 दिन पहले I was writing my botany paper. I was in ICSE and पापा मेरे लिए VN निगम का एक किताब लेके आए थे. Back then that book costed 175 rupees, 400 pages का बड़ा सा book था. And my mom asked this question to my dad, कि the exam is after 2 days and you're getting the book today. How does that help? तो पापा ने एक चीज बोला था, which I till date remember, even if I'm way past my 10th grade, that एक mark में 100 बच्चे रहते हैं. He was trying to basically explain the percentile and percentage concept. If my daughter is able to get that 1 mark extra and she's above the rest of the 100, where her life will take, that point of time, this book will be irrelevant. Mummy, she just brushed that off, and obviously she was managing 2 teenage children, so she had bigger fishes to fry. बोल के चली गई, अरे ये वो typical पापा की परी वाला dialogue है, let me just leave it and walk out. And there came a moment where I topped in my 10th. I was rank 3 for the entire eastern sector, और मुझे science में 98 मिला 100 से, physics, chemistry, biology में. And obviously school में medal मिला, वो सारा चीज मिला. तो I forgot about this until 10 years after this. जब मेरी शादी हो गई, मेरे I had my son, and again I encountered a situation. तब 3 महीने का maternity leave होता है, and I had to leave my child in a daycare and move on to with my job. मुझे फिर से वही चीज पापा की याद आई, that we all get opportunities. We all come to a crossroad. There's a saying from I think it was, the poet was, I guess, Robert Frost, which is the road not taken. There are always 2 roads, and you decide to take the road that is not taken. So whenever you put yourself out there that you are willing to try, you're willing to fail, you're willing to fail fast, you get inspired. I get inspired from every single thing around me. It could be technology, it could be people, it could be environment. My biggest inspiration statement I tell myself every single day is, one person can make a difference. You don't have to require an army of people to make a difference. बस वो बोलते हैं ना, वो कीड़ा दिमाग में और वो आग दिल में होना चाहिए, that I want to make a difference. Today, when I look back at my journey, I'm going to be touching 42 in September. And there came a point that I was the only brown woman under 40, rising to the highest rank of a senior vice president of a 100% US owned organization, which had never happened 40 years in that company. You go into the board meeting, हम लोग का diction, accent, we are Indians, दिखता है. People have that. Are you trying to tell us scheduling or scheduling? नहीं, हम तो scheduling बोलेंगे. So it took me at every stage of my life to break stereotypes, and that has been my biggest inspiration. Thank you, Pankaj.
Super, amazing. Okay, now coming to Rena, please go ahead.
So I'm just so lost. I'm only listening and listening to what Sweetie was saying, because there are so many stories that we women keep hidden among us. I've always had this bias that people look at me that if a person is quiet, if a person is women, then the person can be taken granted. And especially if they come from a golden plate or from a silver spoon, to say, hey, isko kya zarurat hai. The second thing is, because I'm a mother of proud boys, मेरे पास हमेशा एक क्वेश्चन आता है, आपको सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट और सेक्सुअल अब्यूज में काम करने की क्या पड़ गई? क्या आपके ऊपर कभी हुआ है? और मुझे एक स्टेटमेंट बहुत अजीब लगता है कि क्या होना जरूरी है तभी करना जरूरी है क्या? मतलब everything that we work for today, like how Manjari said that she's so purposeful about talking about the Independence Day or the heroes or the warriors that are standing on our border. Do we really need to be there to be having a safeguarded country or to stand up for them? That's really weird for me. So for me, it was always about breaking every myth that society or people had. That's okay. The first instance that you coming from an affluent family, you coming from a business family, you cannot be somebody hitting the corporate. Second, what can I do different what others can do? Third, probably when I was in my 12th, I was the first girl in the entire Sindhi community at Chennai who walked all borders in spite of not even probably going from here in a bus to somewhere close by. I went all strides out in UK to do my masters and my PhDs. Okay, where I didn't have anybody. And my father still asked me, आपको चाहिए क्या मैं चलूँ आपके साथ? तो मैंने बोला अब स्कॉलरशिप भी अप्लाई कर ली, एग्जाम भी लिख लिया, डर तो लग रहा था. Or of all the things, I chose VLSI 20 years back, which was like an alien word that time. The only girl going all the way, even in my batch of 30 people, I still remember in University of Westminster, London, my professor's first statement was, are you sure you from India want to do this course? And I said, yes, of course, why not? And I stood second in the entire research-based program. It's not about writing an exam. It's about actually going and setting up the entire integrated circuit with the device, happening it to work and your lights coming on when the entire process works. So if one light doesn't come on, your entire life is at stake for you to get that. Okay, you're done with the research. Okay, so many a times we need to break our own biases. And I would say what has worked with me is taking risk all the time. Going ahead and saying, इससे ज़्यादा क्या होगा? बढ़ के तो देख लेते हैं. और दूसरा, अगर किसी की मदद करो तो अपने आप को थोड़ा पीछे रख के दूसरे को आगे बढ़ने की थोड़ी रास्ता दे दो, तो दूसरा भी सोचेगा कि भाई मेरे फायदे के लिए आए, दूसरे के अपने फायदे के लिए नहीं. ओके, लाइफ इज नॉट just us, life is beyond us. I think many people fail to realize that, and that has been my inspirational statement. It's about people, not about us.
Very nice. What a thought.
Thank you.
Rena, you are sensational.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Pankaj ji. I think you are
And
being very humble. We just sharing our stories, that's all. But that's
yeah,
all we
so
need.
when you were sharing about your experiences, I was just thinking about the quote given by Van Dyer. He said, "The way you look at things, the things you look at change." तो
Absolutely.
पूरा का पूरा नजरिया ही बदल जाता है, पूरा का
Seriously.
पूरा पर्सपेक्टिव ही बदल जाता है। और लाइफ में हम किसी से लेकर के खुश नहीं होते, जब देते हैं तो ज्यादा खुशी मिलती है
Absolutely.
ना। किसी से कुछ काम करवा के इतनी खुशी नहीं मिलती, जब किसी के लिए कुछ कर देते हैं ना। आप रोड क्रॉस कर रहे हैं, आपने देखा कि कोई बुजुर्ग व्यक्ति है, ही इज स्ट्रगलिंग टू इन द ट्रैफिक, अगर आप उनका हाथ पकड़ करके अगर आप रोड क्रॉस करा देते हैं, वो 70-80 ईयर्स के जो ओल्ड पर्सन को, उसके बाद में यू फील सो कंटेंटेड, आपको लगता है कि नहीं सब कुछ किया। सो व्हाट यू सेड इज एब्सोल्युटली राइट। जब हम किसी के लिए कुछ करते हैं, लाइफ इज बियॉन्ड अस, बियॉन्ड आई। ओके,
So actually, आप लोग तो पढ़ने में इतने अच्छे थे, and as I share that I was a completely aimless child, I mean, other than the expectations and the efforts of both of my parents. The best part that inspired me to be what I am, I would say that I would conclude that in one word, and that is gratitude. और वो भी तब आना स्टार्ट हुआ जब शायद मेरा समय आया, एंड शायद जब से मैंने उसको रियलाइज करना स्टार्ट किया, बिकॉज जो वो 2005 वाला टाइम था व्हेन आई जॉइन फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री एज अ प्रोफेशनल, उसके पहले की जो मैं जर्नी देखती हूँ, जो मेरी करतूतें थी, द वे आई टुक माय लाइफ अलोंग, इट हैड टू बी अ कंप्लीटली डैमेज्ड लाइफ. पर वहां से जब मैंने वापस एक यात्रा की शुरुआत करी, और उस टाइम से जिस तरीके के रिफॉर्म आए, शहर की बात हुई, लखनऊ, सबने मना किया कि नहीं करो नहीं करो नहीं करो, मैंने चूज किया लखनऊ, एंड लखनऊ gave me much beyond than my expectations. When I started saying कि मुझे 1 साल के अंदर प्रमोट होना है, मेरे bosses they used to laugh at me. अरे ठीक है, मेहनती है, एम्बिशियस है लड़की. I mean, अगर आप एम्बिशियस हो, वो भी अपने आप में एक स्टीरियोटाइप के तौर पे प्ले करता है. People feel that you're going to touch anything, do anything for your on the cost of your promotions. That is another stereotype. तो लोगों को ये तो पता था कि मेहनती है लड़की, पर 1 साल में प्रमोशन भी होता है क्या कोई? So they used to laugh at me, smile at me. पर 1 साल में हुआ प्रमोशन, in fact 11 months में हुआ प्रमोशन. To the extent that I took a different territory altogether, that is from Lucknow to Noida. Noida was created as a territory for me, replacing that person, sending that person to Bulandshahr, creating Bulandshahr a separate territory altogether. So this helped me understand कि जिस टाइम से मैंने मैजिक्स में बिलीव करना स्टार्ट किया, जिस टाइम से मैंने सोचा कि लाइफ कैन बी चेंज, शुड बी चेंज, उस टाइम से मिराकल्स और मैजिक होने स्टार्ट हो गए. एंड आई लिटरली फील so grateful to all those people, events, situations, and the cities who had been part of this eventful journey of mine, which I actually never felt that I deserved to have. Had a great team as medical reps, as an area manager, who never made me realize that I'm a female, that 3 to 4 years younger than them. मेरे जितने भी teammates, they were all 4 से 5 साल senior थे. So this becomes part of journey of pharmaceutical industry. उसके बाद जब दूसरा हिस्सा शुरू हुआ, after I became mother of my 2 kids, and as most of you had to take break after your child, I also had to take that. And जब भी लगा कि कुछ तो कंस्ट्रक्टिव करना है लाइफ में, थोड़ा ये मेरे टीचर्स वर गुड इन लॉ कॉलेज. माय मेट मेनी गुड ऑफ द प्लांटर्स, गुड सोशल एक्टिविस्ट, सोशल वर्कर्स. वहां से जब काम करना स्टार्ट किया, वो करते करते उस टाइम पे आई वाज जस्ट वर्किंग टू टेक आउट दैट डिप्रेसिव पार्ट ऑफ माय लाइफ, जो अकेले बैठ के घर पे बैठने की वजह से आया था. आज के टाइम में आई कैन एक्नॉलेज दैट आई वाज अंडर डिप्रेशन. उस टाइम पे ये बोल पाना शायद इतना करेज नहीं था, बट अभी आई रियलाइज. So काम करना शुरू सिर्फ इसलिए किया that I can come out of that depression, but धीरे करके the kind of acknowledgement the journey was bringing in life, I started realizing that yes, this is the path which has been chosen for me, and I'm so grateful to universe that I have been chosen for this path. Now, when we became an organization as Jijivisha Society, we started thinking of all the viable ways and means कि किस तरीके से हम funds create कर सकते हैं, and being NGO, we always used to get those like opportunities which NGOs in general are known for. Mostly they are known as money making factories, conversions for from black money to white money. So that used to rope in, but my vision was very clear. I'm so thankful that my team supported in this. Still we required funds. And then we started working upon training because I did my NLP certification, did LLB, did POSH certification. POSH certification I did deliberately because I knew every organization, it is mandatory. So maybe today or tomorrow, हंस के या खुशी से या रोके, people have to go with it. So deliberately started working on POSH, and trust me, the initial response was so cold that my husband, my closest of friends and acquaintances, they used to say, क्या पकड़ लिया है तुमने ये? इतने सारे लॉ हैं इंडिया में, कौन इतनी चीजें करता है, कौन इन चीजों को देखता है? And I would again say that magic exists. Just we have to shift our mindset. We have to come out of the limited beliefs. And in this journey today, in the top of the organizations of Uttar Pradesh across, we are known as the whistleblowers, the torchbearers for POSH laws. 38 से 39,000 लोगों के साथ में अगर हम trainings कर सके हैं, sensitization कर सके हैं, so it is all magical. And for all that magic, I'm so grateful. One part in the last, I know it's getting a little lengthier. Just in the last one thing, कि as parent, अगर मेरे parents ने वो यात्रा नहीं दिखाई होती, वो perspective नहीं दिखाया होता, stereotype से लड़ना ना करके ना दिखाया होता, तो शायद मैं भी as an individual उन limited beliefs में ही फंस के रहती और आज जहाँ पे हूँ आपके साथ जो चीजें share कर पा रही हूँ वो नहीं करती. So as parents हमारी ये responsibility मुझे लगता है बनती है that we bring that legacy. We pass on that legacy to our kids that things are possible. Go with first version of yourself, as you both said. Thank you.
Very inspiring journey, Manjari ji. Coming to, so much of things, coming to the next important thing, that how have you overcome on the obstacle on the way from the family, from the society, from the colleagues, wherever, it has come from. And this will be very helpful for all the women, aspiring entrepreneurs to build that mindset. So, Sweetie ji, coming to you, please share that what any one incident, which will be very helpful for all our audience.
देखिए, obstacle is like the glass half filled, half empty. There is an opportunity in every obstacle. There is an advantage in every adversity. That is what I would always look at it. ये thought आज मैं बोल पा रही हूँ because I have trained my mind in many ways to look at the past in a very different viewpoint, in a very different outlook. What you did say some time back, Pankaj ji. I want to share particularly, one instance which is an obstacle which I would not say anybody created for us, but we created it for ourselves in our heads. So as women, as possibly, you call the flag bearer of ghar ki izzat, your conditioning is such that your output is equivalent to your sacrifices. Your contributions in your family is equivalent to you being silently putting your priorities behind and everybody else's priorities above you. And finally, your importance, or जिसको हम लोग corporate language में बोलते हैं, your value proposition is based on the fact that what others tell you about yourself. I'm a good mother. You can't say that. My mother is a good mother. I have a good wife. Or my daughter is very, she's very enterprising or loyal. I think my advice to every audience who is listening or trying to understand that, did I sign up for this? कभी कभी होता है ना, आप सुबह उठते हैं, you are not in your best of your mood, and you are just thinking, because what happened the day before, ऑफिस में हो, घर पे हो, सोसाइटी में हो, आपके बिजनेस में हो, आपको लगता है डिड आई साइन अप फॉर दिस, मेरे को ये जरूरत है करने की, बिकॉज यू स्टार्ट सर्चिंग फॉर पर्पस, यू स्टार्ट सर्चिंग फॉर योर पैशन. तो मेरे लिए मेरे लाइफ का सबसे बड़ा इंस्टेंस था, आई हैव हैड द करेज टू ऑलवेज ट्राई विदाउट थिंकिंग बीइंग जज्ड. आई थिंक एक ये एंटरप्रेन्योर माइंडसेट का सबसे बड़ा pivotal point is, how do you train your mind to think that you have a growth mindset? अभी आपने बहुत जगह पे सुना होगा critical thinking, design thinking, growth mindset, but ये बहुत ही basic सी चीज है. This is like, when you open your fridge, you see a certain set of vegetables and you decide how you are going to cook and make that day because you have a constrained environment. That for me is growth mindset. Work on your strengths. Don't focus on your weaknesses. Accept the constraints. Don't be a superhero with or without a cape. कभी अपने आप को जरूरत नहीं बोलने के लिए कि कुछ भी आ जाए मैं कर दूंगी. No. But please ask for help. I think as women, one of the fundamental learnings that we have to change at the grassroots level is हम help नहीं मांगते हैं. When try holding a phone and a piece of mouse like this for 9 minutes, your muscles will be completely numb. And here we are talking about having a 3.5 kilo baby for 9 months inside your body. So when you're going through that situation, that is the only time the society has allowed us to ask for help. My request to every woman, every girl, everyone who's trying to make a mark, asking for help doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you self-aware, that you know what is your capability and what you can focus. And it makes the other person in your life, like how Rena ji put earlier, that we create a tribe, right? It's not about ourselves, it's about everybody. So जब आप ही खुद अपने obstacle बन चुके हो, that you have told that I will not ask for help, then people don't help you. So I think our orientation has to be in a way where we recognize an opportunity. That's very important. आपको पता भी तो चलना चाहिए that there is something there. How do you look at that till you are concentrating on the baggage you are carrying? When you're trying to overcome an obstacle, look at the way how you can critically think. This is the box. Shift outside the box. Everything is here. The noise is here. Can you hear the voice that is outside? The moment you look at that, that obstacle becomes an opportunity. It is like वो आप में से किसी ने अगर रामचरितमानस में एक सुंदरा कांड का एक पाठ होता है जो प्रेग्नेंट औरतों को बोला जाता है पढ़ने के लिए, उसमें एक बहुत अच्छी एक सीख है कि जितनी भी बड़ी मुश्किल है, एकदम लाइक अ मोल हिल, सरसों के दाने जैसे फुस होके चला जाता है, is because you are ready to face it. There is I'm not exactly remembering a quotation, but it is right put up here in front of my laptop. 90% of the things you cannot control. 90% of the things are outside your capacity to control. It is only the 10% how you react controls the 90%. तो अगर उस 10% जो कि इतना छोटा सा परसेंटेज, अगर हम उसी पे कंट्रोल करें and not get completely worked up, be self-reliant, obstacles आते जाएंगे, overcome होते जाएंगे. Another last thing I want to take 40 seconds and say is, as women, we should stop chasing perfection. Good is the best that you can get. Perfect is the enemy of good. We just cannot accept anything that is good. So I'm going to add on what Manjari and Rena told earlier. You are the best version of yourself. Live with that best version and every day try to be better than yesterday. So automatically क्या होता है ना कि आपके पास कोई benchmark नहीं है where you're trying to hit and say that I want to become this. But what you're inspiring is you're inspiring your own obstacles. Thank you, Pankaj.
Amazing. अभी ये words कम पढ़ रहे हैं मेरे को. I do not know, और एक और चीज जो मेरे को लगती है ना, व्हाट आई ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू फील, कि बहुत जल्दी गिल्ट का शिकार हो जाते हैं हम लोग, बहुत जल्दी। किसी ने कुछ आकर के बोल दिया और आप यू आर इन दैट थॉट, वो दिन भर में वो थॉट में गलते रहे, पिघलते रहे, भूल ही गए क्या थे, क्या सोचा था, सुबह क्या करना चाहिए था। ये मैं अक्सर सेल्स की जब ट्रेनिंग लेता हूँ ना, तो उनको बताता हूँ, व्हेन योर कस्टमर इज रिजेक्टिंग यू, so I always used to tell people that when your first call, if you are going to meet a customer and he really rejects you, what do? वो फर्स्ट कॉल, वो फर्स्ट इंसल्ट, वो फर्स्ट जो रिजेक्शन हुआ है, वो इतना डोमिनेट हो गया माइंड के ऊपर कि हम आगे आने वाले सारे कॉल खराब कर लेते हैं। तो मैं उनको हमेशा बोलता हूँ, व्हेनेवर यू आर रिजेक्टेड ना, बाहर आओ, यूं करो, ऐसे डू दिस, एंड योर नेक्स्ट कस्टमर डू नॉट नो दैट कि आपके साथ में कुछ हुआ है। उसके पास ऐसे जाओ जैसे आपके पास में 10, जितने पिछले 10 के 10 कॉल हुए, वहां 100% सक्सेस आप क्लोज करके आ रहे हो। टू रहना ओवर टू यू, प्लीज शेयर।
Thank you. I think I'm enjoying this discussion as much as you are enjoying sharing, Pankaj ji. इतने अच्छे input सब लोग दे रहे हैं. I'll keep it short because I wish to hear others also, Manjari and Mansi, the double M's. So, as an entrepreneur, as a mother, as a woman, we face many challenges and obstacles. Okay, I'm going to say, as a woman, what are the obstacles I have faced genuinely. As I have grown, one biggest obstacle that I've faced is, I think I got success quick because I was very persistent at doing anything and everything without having fear and without judging myself. Okay, I went on and on it like a mad person. I will call myself mad because I'm mad workaholic. Okay, I love my work first before anything in life, not even myself. Okay, the second thing is, so the first bias that I got was age bias. Okay, people coming up to me and saying, आप तो खाली 25 साल के हो, आप हमें KRAs और KPIs कैसे समझाओगे? How can you teach me a leadership training? How can you get me the ROI of what I deserve? That was the first thing, and in spite of me having a master's in IT, I jumped into marketing. I jumped into becoming the Asia Pacific head for a marketing project at Singapore and at US called ETL. ETL is a home learning kit for mothers and children to work at home on themselves. Okay, so I was their head of marketing and I was only around 24 or 25. Okay, so after that, getting into training world and being judged every day that somebody who's as young cannot support HR leaders, cannot support entrepreneurs, cannot become a founder of her own company at a very young age. And I used to literally tell my husband coming back, अरे यार मुझे लगता है ना, मुझे ना white color कुछ डाई लगा के जाना चाहिए, कुछ चश्मा वश्मा डाल के जाना चाहिए, तभी लोग मुझे seriously लेंगे कि मैं कोई old हूँ या. So I really took pains of saying, hey, I'm going to work on my value and not on my structure, what people see from outside. Once they get value, they will probably call me. And that was one bias that I broke as a woman, that I'm not going to change myself because people want me to change. Whether it is about being young or whether you're, of course, presentability is important. Of course, how you communicate is important. Even the pause and the silence was important for me to say, hey, I'm not okay with what you're telling me. And that made quite a lot of difference. So I will call it woman age bias. I will not call it age bias. I will call it woman age bias. With men, it's okay. Okay. The second was gender bias. Why gender is, even in posh, people think it's only for women. Even in any other field, image, अच्छा image मतलब सिर्फ लड़कियों को ही आपको जाके सिखाना चाहिए. मतलब men लोग को पता है कि उनको टाई पहनना है, कोट पहनना है, सूट पहनना है, and they are all good to go. Okay, so I don't understand what is this. मतलब when you are supporting society, the law also says the laws are made for citizens. It says it's for everybody, for all, LGBTQ, for women, for men, for other genders. लेकिन हमने क्यों ऐसे इक्वेट करके रखा है कि हर एक चीज सिर्फ एक महिला के लिए है या एक पुरुष के लिए है या बच्चे के लिए नहीं है. साइबर सेफ्टी हो तो सिर्फ माँ बाप को ही समझना चाहिए, बच्चे को सेफगार्ड नहीं करना चाहिए. So I could not understand this, so I broke that. That safety is for all, gender bias. So age bias ho gaya, gender bias ho gaya, and whatever obstacle I could face is that asking help is most important, and showing that even the most amazing leader can be vulnerable, humble, empathetic. I might look as the most nerdest person, but I'm there to help. And finally, saying no. Okay, if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. Nobody can budge me from that. No matter it is a man, it is your husband, it is your father-in-law, your in-laws, your parents, or the society. अगर आपके माइंड से वो नहीं हाँ है, तो वो ना ही होना चाहिए. आप उसको कैसे पैकेज करके कैसे आदमी को बोलते हो, that is a skill. But no means no in terms of taking projects, in terms of having your own terms of working, in terms of understanding another person's difficulty. You have to learn how to say no. So these were different obstacles and biases that I underwent and I broke. And I want Mansi and Manjari also to share their aspects. So over to you.
Yeah, great takeaways. Learn the art of saying no. It's not always yes. हस्बैंड ने बोला किसी भी चीज के लिए always yes. बॉस ने बोला yes. बच्चों ने बोला yes. पड़ोसी ने बोला yes. Right, Rena, good. Thank you so much for very the nice contribution to this podcast. Now coming to Manjari. Manjari ji, over to you.
पंकज जी, मेरा जो सबसे पहला ऑब्स्टेकल था वो मैं खुद थी. Because as I shared, extremely progressive parents in terms of education of a girl child, they made sure that despite of all odds, my education must go on. So except for ships, except for Hawai Jahaj, helicopter and train, there had been all modes of transport जिनके थ्रू मैं अपने घर से अपने स्कूल तक गई हूँ. So that was a distance of almost 10 kilometers. And obviously that became possible only because I had such great parents. So I think it corroborates that my mindset was the biggest obstacle I had, because मुझे कोई aim ही नहीं था जिंदगी में. The day that aimlessness waved off, उसके बाद से journey shifted. Later in this phase of life, which I am holding currently, just flow में अभी हैं, as a social worker. See, when we started working in 2013-14 on small things, on small levels, small scales, so छोटे से applications डालते थे हम, like parks बनवाने हैं, सड़कें बनवानी हैं, sanitation ensure करना है, roadside lighting करानी है. तो ये सारे streams में होता ये था, we used to go put our first application and within 3 to 4 months the things used to get done. मतलब एक पूरी सड़क बनके तैयार हो जाना, it used to be sort of achievement. Obviously, a lot of role was played through my legal knowledge and maybe the selling skills I learned during my professional days. So the small level of work that accumulated and it became a bunch of lot of work. So there was a group of friends who kept on pushing me that what is stopping you working freelance? I mean, stopping you registering yourself as an organization. And the carefreeness still was there into me. Working as a freelance is another part of life. It's just volunteering, and having an organization becomes a full-time responsibility. So trust me, I was never very much keen to get into a full-time responsibility. I wanted to remain in that state of enjoyment. But because it was consistent, persistent from all across that you should register as an organization, ये projects आते हैं, वो projects आते हैं, इतना budget है, ये वो. So I said, ठीक है, चलो करके देखते हैं. That's how Jijivisha Society was born. And धीरे धीरे करके in an year or so, I started realizing that the whole of the responsibility of raising funds, it's somewhere or the other lying solely upon one shoulder. The other's inclination was to get the society registered and then start getting into all those means and measures for which the NGOs are known. So एक टाइम में मैं बहुत झगड़ालू होती थी in my college days. फिर मेरा प्रोफेशनल जर्नी एंड बहुत सारी चीजों ने ये सिखाया कि आई शुड काम डाउन अ बिट. फिर मैं इतनी ज्यादा काम डाउन हो गई कि जहाँ पे नो बोलना चाहिए वहां पे भी नहीं बोल पाती थी. पर अंदर इट वाज ईटिंग माय inner consciousness. एक सवा साल मुझे ये एक्सप्लेन करने में लग गए कि नो, जिजीविषा सोसाइटी विल नॉट एंटरटेन एनी ऑफ द मैल प्रैक्टिसेस. हमें मुश्किल आती है, आसानी आती है, जो भी है चलेंगे, वैसे बहुत होगा तो क्लोज कर देंगे, लेकिन मोटिव नहीं है, ऑब्जेक्टिव ही नहीं है. सो वो जो 2 से 2.5 साल का टेन्योर था, विच वेयर आई हैड टू कम्बैट दिस कॉन्सेप्ट कि नहीं, रॉन्ग प्रैक्टिसेस आर नॉट अलाउड हियर. पहली जीत उस ऑब्स्टेकल से लेना एक बड़ा चैलेंज था. दूसरा पार्ट कि एज एट वर्क प्लेसेस हम जनरली वी टेक इट फॉर वेरी ग्रांटेड कि वी कैन टॉक टू अदर पर्सन इन एनी पॉसिबल मैनर, राइट. किसी को भी स्कोल्ड कर सकते हैं, किसी के भी सामने हैरेस कर सकते हैं, चिल्ला सकते हैं, इसको जनरल ट्रेंड माना जाता है. आई स्टिल इट पेन्स मी टू लिसन फ्रॉम मेनी ऑफ द लीडर्स कि लोगों को जब तक जूते की नोक पे नहीं रखो, दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. इट्स अ कॉमन सेइंग in many of the sales professionals general conversation. So I had to break this stereotype as well. For me it was very clear, be it our helper जो फावड़ा चलाते हैं उनसे लेके मुझ तक, we are all supposed to talk to each other with a dignified manner. It was another part of obstacle. So धीरे धीरे करके we are trying to come out of it. Up to much extent it has already overcome. बट इन प्रोफेशनल जर्नी अगर हम ऑब्स्टिकल्स की बात माने तो दिस वाज द पार्ट. बाकी जेंडर बायस एंड एज बायस, यस दे वर पार्ट ऑफ इट, पर उनको मैं उतना मेजर नहीं मानना चाहती हूँ, बिकॉज आई कुड वर्क आउट ऑफ इट. एज आई से दैट आई एम मैजिकल मंजरी, तो द मैजिक कीप्स वर्किंग फॉर मी एंड I believe good things are possible. I just have to create that in my own mindset.
Very nice. So this magical Manjari is getting, it's very enlightening. Now coming to Mansi. Mansi, please help us.
So coming to obstacles, I think I face an obstacle every minute. You just saw today morning what happened. I have an obstacle everywhere in life. But let me tell you one big story about obstacle. So this was April 2014. I began my practice in December 2013. This was April 2014. And so that time we used to have physical seminars, we used to take up places. And so I was an invited speaker to a seminar. And there I was talking, and there I met an elderly gentleman. He must have been 60 plus. And he said, I want to come and meet you in your office. I said, okay. And the next day, very diligently, he did come to office. And we were having a chat. Even he was asking me, what do you do? And I was explaining to him. And, when you are at 60, when you've been training for like 40 years, you come with a different experience. And this gentleman was also IIT IIM. And here I am, Sida Sada person from Somaya. I mean, no great college, no illustrious career, nothing. And this gentleman was like big. And in the course of the conversation, he asked me, how do you make your business decisions? And I said, sir, I just take all my decisions from my heart. If it feels right, I do it. If it doesn't feel right, I don't do it. He looked at me square and he said, very, 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 I don't know how many veries he said. And then he said, very wrong, Mansi. You will fail. At that moment, when he said that, ऐसे ना आंखों के सामने अंधेरा छा गया. I started in December 2013. April 2014, I have an IIT IIM graduate with almost 40 years of illustrious experience in training telling me you will fail. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to do. It was numbing. And I just said, okay. I didn't know how to react. But here I am in 2023 and I think I'm doing reasonably well for myself. So, I think obstacles come in various forms. My other obstacles have been, I started when my second child was 3. My daughter, who's the elder one, was 8. When children are so small, they are plagued with sickness. You have to see their studies. Parent-teachers meeting hoti hai. Wo bachcha school mein rone lagega, mujhe ghar jana hai. All those kind of things happen. But I think somewhere you've got to manage each of those, manage home, and then also manage your work. The next obstacle has been, I'm a first-gen entrepreneur. And उसके पहले I've been in a professional world. So, जब आप HR में होते हैं, आपको पता होता है आपकी सैलरी इस दिन आने वाली है, your bank account is credited, आपका मैसेज आ जाता है, आपके बैंक अकाउंट में पैसे आ गए. But when you are an entrepreneur, there are months when the money doesn't come in. And when it comes in, sometimes it'll come in so big कि वो सारे महीने आपके हो जाएंगे. वो जो scale होता है ना, when it's absolutely low, when the money is not coming in, and when it's absolutely high, when there's a lot of money coming in. As a first-gen entrepreneur, it took me a lot of time to absorb that shock, coming from the background of having your salary come in every week. There's also a problem of being the first-gen entrepreneur. When you are working with somebody, especially if you work in HR, because I worked in HR, I can tell you HR has all good bosses. Trust me. They actually handhold you and ensure that you do well in life. But when you are on your own, you are responsible for every decision that you take. And जब गिरते हैं ना, तो मुंह के बल गिरते हैं और इतना दर्द होता है कि उठना भी बहुत मुश्किल होता है. So that's another disadvantage of being a first-gen entrepreneur. And I had to learn everything from scratch in my business. Aap mujhse bolo, the only thing that I knew well because of my qualification was how to deliver a training program. Because I have a PG in HR, because I've worked in HR, that was the only thing I knew. I did not know कि marketing क्या होता है, sales क्या होता है, finance क्या होता है. मुझे ये भी नहीं पता था कि आपको tax भरना पड़ता है. I mean, मैं client से पैसा लेती हूँ तो मुझे tax भरना होता है. I mean, what logic? Yeah, I had to learn everything on my own. And then came 2016-17 when I also had to learn social media. So it's like, and now I'm also learning AI. There is no escape. So as a first-gen entrepreneur, you have so many obstacles. As a parent, you have so many obstacles. And trust me, you have a lot of obstacles from your fraternity. Because all the time your fraternity is trying to show you, अरे यार, तुम तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते, तुम आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते. And despite that, you just have to keep moving ahead. Thank you, sir.
Amazing. I recently, interviewed Mr. Prabir Jha on my channel, right? And he said, he also started his entrepreneur journey. And he said very well, Pankaj, in my life, I made around 50 CHROs. Made means people got promoted during his tenure and his coaching like this. But he said, when I started, this journey, they all got vanished. So the support, the business which I am getting, this all support in the business comes from the people I do not at all know who they are, who are they, right? So what you said is very right. So much of resistance from everywhere. In spite of them, if you are determined, if you are there to face all these obstacles, all the no's, right? So I remember here there is a guy called Les Brown. I hope you would have heard about his story. He said it very right, that he wanted to become a radio jockey, right? And he approached that radio station head, 7 times. Then the head got, mad about, why are you coming every time? We do not have any, place. There is a person already there. Then one fine day he said that I'm just thinking that person might have died. So what he said that try, do not leave, your persistence, your commitment really pays you a lot. And this is the only the currency and the determination for the success. I learned so many things, from my son himself, in my home. Yeah, he is now he is big, but the way, he started his journey in the talking to the clients and everything, you can learn the bit by bit, piece by piece, and he is off. And, when once you become entrepreneur, you are 24/7. I see he conducts meeting with his team members around till, 2 a.m. in the morning. So I said, what were you doing? He said, Papa, I was talking to the client. I was talking to my US client, this client, that client. So you do not know from where the opportunity will come. Right. So a wonderful thing. And I think that this is going to be, very helpful for all the audience, especially the women entrepreneurs, aspiring, women entrepreneurs, those who really wanted to do something. We are moving at the end of this podcast. I would request, any final message which you would like to share with all of our audience. So Sweetie, over to you. Kindly share.
Well, there are no finals, right? Like they always say, "Kabhi alvida na kehna." So there is always another opportunity, another new journey that we all begin. Um, I want to leave the audience with just this one thought. I might sound a little profound and preachy when I tell this, but uh, don't go and start finding your hero. Just become your hero in your own life. Um, when you are your own hero, you define your journey, you define the outcomes that come out of it. I have I shared a little bit about my personal life. So be proud of what you have gone through and what you have achieved. That is like the fundamental of everything that we have tried to deliver. There is a question often, and since you mentioned about radio jockey, and I think Pankaj ji, I shared with you, way back in 2004, 2005, I was doing radio jockeying as a freelancing for 93.4, the 4 a.m. slot, and I was working for Dell at that point in time. I don't know, the people in Bangalore will be familiar with DJ Darius. He was a pretty short guy, bald headed, very smart, and he was my inspiration. And I said, मैं radio jockey भी बन जाऊंगी. Like when you are in your early 20s, you just want to do everything. And here, my parents wanted me to be an amazing engineer, which I never enjoyed. The reason I bring this up is there is no boundary till we put a boundary amongst ourselves and around us. If we have a story to tell, we need to be the hero of that story. And hero is not a gender statement. Hero is gender agnostic. So I'm not using a word heroine, lead actor, and all that jo aajkal award functions mein hota hai. Hero is a sentiment. It is a practice. It is a behavior. I want my audience listening this. I want Pankaj ji's audience of the YouTube channel that he runs listening this, that the strongest action comes in from the place where you least expect it to come. And that expectation is not from others, it's from us. So society कुछ भी बोले, आपकी fraternity कुछ भी बोले, आप किसी के साथ competition में नहीं है. You have your own journey, you have your own path. I was 8.5, 9 months almost pregnant. My dates were moving on. मेरे को normal delivery चाहिए था, again another stereotype. तो मेरे head of HR उस जमाने में एक senior vice president थे, and he told me, you are 25 kilos, completely fully pregnant, walking up the incline and coming. मैं बाहर एक ambulance रखूं क्या? What is the statement you're trying to give? This is way back in 2009-10. उस time में ये सब diversity and all this was tokenism. आपके पास कितने diversity hires हैं? हाँ, इतने हैं. Token हो गया जी. You are now best place to work. When he told this to me, that was the first time it hit me that as a woman, this is not a disease. इसे छूने से फैलता नहीं है. So this is not something that you're going through. You have to break your own stereotype. March 16th, my son was born. His birthday is coming up. March 15th, शाम के 7 बजे, I was working for my Israeli clients and customers. I finished my call, got up, went to hospital, got myself admitted. 16th morning, 7 a.m., my son was born. And I was back to office after 2 months of maternity break. क्योंकि मुझे performance appraisal run करना था. बहुत लोगों ने बहुत जज किया, कैसी माँ हो, पहले बच्चे को छोड़ के आ गई, working mother, ये वो and all that. I just felt this, that a strong woman can raise a strong child. And I am a strong woman. Thank you.
My God, lovely. Amazing. Sweetie, this is just, mind-blowing, the thoughts and what you did actually. Yeah, find the hero in you, find whatever you do, and are you being in the position to tell your story to others? So inspiring. Thank you so much. Rena, coming to you. Yeah.
Sometimes silence is golden. With so much that we've spoken, मैं सिर्फ एक ही लाइन बोलूँगी कि हर एक महिला, हर एक woman की कहानी अलग है. There is a moment where you have to choose whether you want to be silent or whether you want to stand up. Because at the end of the day, it is your life. लेकिन कोमल हो कमजोर नहीं, शक्ति का नाम है नारी. कोमल हो कमजोर नहीं, शक्ति का नाम है नारी. जग की जीवन देने वाली एक ही बनी, मौत भी तुझसे हारी. याद रखना तुम ही हो वो नारी जिसके अलावा ये दुनिया खड़ी रही। आगे बढ़ो, कभी न समझो कम अपने आप। ये है जग की नारी, आप है वो नारी। थैंक यू।
Wonderful. Very nice. Thank you so much. Very inspiring. जी मंजरी जी.
So actually, thank you so much. More than sharing my journey, it's in fact way beyond good to listen to you all. And as we are like this beginning of a new journey, that's what I believe. What I would love to share with you all is, as Sweetie ji has shared, ki be the hero of yourself. Yes, be the hero of yourself. And it is a completely gender neutral term. It is an act, that feeling, that emotion of being hero. During this all talk upon Women's Day, जब हम बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स में होते हैं, सो व्हाट आई फील कि हम प्रॉब्लम्स को मेजर बनाते चलते हैं, एंड उस टाइम पे जो छोटे छोटे से एलिमेंट्स, प्लेसेस, पीपल, इंसिडेंट्स जिन्होंने हमारी लाइफ में कंट्रीब्यूट किया होता है, शायद वो पीछे छूट जाते हैं. सो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट, लेट्स स्टार्ट making the gratitude part, the contributive people's part, major in our lives. Let's make them as major as the obstacles who come across. Yeah, we need to be analytical. At the same time, let's be major and more thankful to the people who had been contribution in smaller or bigger ways. ट्रस्ट मी, धीरे धीरे करके वो ऑब्स्टैकल्स इतने छोटे हो जाते हैं कि जो कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिव पार्ट होता है वो अपने आप बहुत बड़ा बन जाता है. एंड एवरीवेयर वी हैव टू फाइंड सक्सेस, हैप्पीनेस and self-satisfaction and the aim that we want to complete and commit in our lives. The second part which I would love to share is, एक बहुत ही common saying होती है that एक महिला दूसरी महिला की दोस्त नहीं होती है, दुश्मन होती है. So probably अगर हम आज के टाइम में Women's Day सेलिब्रेट करना चाह रहे हैं, I would request, let us, अब शायद ये टाइम आ गया है कि हमें ये झुटलाने की जरूरत है इस सेइंग को कि एक महिला दूसरी महिला की दुश्मन होती है. सो whenever we find any other female or any other person, अगर हमारे साथ किसी मेल ने भी कुछ गलत किया है, कभी किसी टाइम में किसी ट्रांसजेंडर ने करा है, तो because of that experience some other person should not be affected only because of his or her gender. So to ultimate aim ये सारे एक्सरसाइजेस का यही है कि हम एक होलिस्टिक अच्छी सोसाइटी का क्रिएशन कर सकें, और वो क्रिएशन तभी सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः तभी पॉसिबल है when all across the society are happy and females too are part of the same society. So just start working in that direction which we all are already working. कुछ और अगर adds on करने हैं तो on day to day basis पे हम ये देख सकते हैं कि what smaller bigger deeds we need to do कि हम एक holistic बेहतर society, बेहतर universe का creation कर सकें. And that is, as an optimist I can say that is possible, क्योंकि हमने जिजीविषा society का के नीचे स्लोगन ही हमारे है maximum happiness for maximum people. And when it is talks about people, it means people means men, women, transgenders, everybody. That's it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so Mansi ji, over to you.
Wow, I am already so inspired listening to everybody. A little 2 cents from my side would be, just keep walking. Just walk, walk, walk. चलोगे, गिरोगे, उठोगे, रोगे, गाओगे, खाओगे, पियोगे, सोगे, सब करोगे. Just keep walking. Walk, walk, walk. एक दिन मंजिल खुद ही चल के आ जाएगी. Thank you so much.
क्या बात है, बहुत ही खूबसूरत, बहुत बढ़िया सी बात बोली आपने. If you have your wife there, put your eyes into the eyes, right, and tell them you are everything for me. And they are doing so much for you, for your family, for your kids, for your parents. And women especially, they always give you things in multiply. They, whatever you give them, you give them love, you give them respect, you will get it, in the 10x or maybe the 100x kind of thing. So always follow this, and especially the women's, you are the world for us, and you are the only one you give birth to all the men's and everyone, all of us. So जननी जन्मभूमि स्वर्गदपि च गरीयसी, बोलते हैं ना हमारे यहाँ संस्कृत में, and that's the true things, right? So whatever things are there, give a lot of love, respect, and what they deserve, everything. Thank you so much for a wonderful this podcast. I believe that this will going to be very helpful for all our audience. So guys, if you are listening this, please share this with all the people, especially all the corporates, all your friends, all your family members, and spread these lovely thoughts, messages, experiences of all the women entrepreneurs on this podcast. Thank you so much.